Hi everyone, welcome back to Zesty Thoughts with your host Annábla. This is episode 47. I hope that you all are having a wonderful week so far. I am having a great week. I have some amazing news. I'm officially discharged from both doctors, and I'm mostly pain-free, which is amazing. So I'm hoping to put all of this behind me. For those of you that are like, what is she talking about? What doctors? I was hit by a car in February. And yeah, it's been a crazy few months. And the recovery has been very difficult, mentally taxing, and obviously like a roller coaster of emotions, and doctor's appointments and therapy and chiropractor and like all this kind of shit that I've been having to deal with basically for the last few months. It happened February 13th, and it is now June 3rd. And as of yesterday, I went to my final appointment and I'm officially done with treatment and I'm feeling really, really good. I'm just doing my stretching. I'm taking walks. I'm slowly easing back into fitness and things like that. I am still going to see possibly a physical therapist to get like recommendations on like specific workouts that I can kind of focus on, things to like avoid for maybe a longer period of time, since I did have some discs that were protruding in my lower back and my neck. So still might check that out just to see as I get back into my fitness journey, like what is safe to do and like at what timeline and stuff like that. But either way, I'm just very like relieved that I'm mostly going to be able to put this behind me at this point. It just feels like a great milestone, and I'm very, 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 very relieved that I don't have to like drive and go to all these like appointments anymore, and that my pain is like pretty much gone, which is amazing. So yay, great update there. I have a few other awesome updates. PCH is open, you guys. It's finally open. I have been ranting in like the last few episodes about my frustration for PCH still being closed. And now I can finally say it is open. Obviously the reason of it being closed is like super tragic. And like, I'm not going to complain about that, obviously, but, it's such a relief that it's open. I'm just so excited. I have a student on Tuesdays in Malibu, so I'm very excited to make that drive up instead of having to go on the 405 and 101. Because that was a trek that I was making for like 2 or 3 months. But it is what it is. I'm excited to drive up the coast and like have a nice view while I'm driving to my student. I'm very much looking forward to that. So that's great. I'm very grateful for that, and for, all of the, fire and government workers and everybody in the state and local level that has been doing all of the cleanup. This past week with my mom and my dad and my godfather, I went to Guido's restaurant. It's an Italian restaurant in West LA, fortunately closing down. Very unfortunate, because I tried their lobster ravioli. Mind you, this is the first time I've ever been there. So sad that like I had never been there before, and like the first time I go is like right before they close. Some of the best ravioli I've ever had in my entire life. It was insane. I literally ate the entire dish. Like I ate the whole thing, and I had some minestrone just to die for. It really is so sad. I feel like there are kind of, unfortunately, a lot of like staples in LA that are kind of closing down due to like, I don't know if it's property taxes or landlords raising rent or whatever. A few months ago, I was looking at rental space here in LA because I'm considering opening up a studio, and I saw the listing for the property where Earth, Wind and Flower is. It's like a Italian restaurant here in Santa Monica. And I saw the listing, and in the description of the listing, it said, a bunch of stuff. And then at the bottom, it said, please respect tenants. Like their tenants are long-term tenants. They've been good tenants. Please respect them and keep the tenants. Unfortunately, like it's not like you can require the buyer to really do that. You could just, hope and pray that would be the case. Unfortunately, the buyer of the property, it's sold, and then the buyer of the property, I'm more than likely priced out, the tenants. So it's just happening left and right. It's been happening for the last decade or two. Really in like most major cities, but like a lot in Los Angeles. Obviously it's like resorted in like a lot of gentrification, especially in like lower income areas where, you know, properties are not just like retail properties or like commercial properties, but also like housing properties are being priced out, and people are being priced out of their long-term, you know, rentals or long-term businesses, which is super, super heartbreaking. I don't really know. I could rant about this subject for hours and hours and hours. I don't know that I am the, I don't know that I'm the best person to really like talk about the subject, because I don't really know much about real estate. Like I know the basics. My godfather's a real estate agent, but I don't know that I'm necessarily like in full political support of like complete free market real estate. I guess if I'm going to like really go there and just full out like give my hot take, I feel like it should be more heavily regulated than it is. I mean, there's rent control here and there, but it's still pricing people out of housing. And like this example, people that have had a successful business for, I mean, God, who knows how long, Guido's and Earth, Wind and Flower were there. And that's just two businesses that I know of. Like there's probably dozens, if not hundreds of businesses in and around Los Angeles that have experienced the same exact thing. And it's just sad. It really is heartbreaking to me. I don't really know what else to say about the subject. You know, I wish that the prioritization of small business extended also in that direction. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people saying, oh, we have to support small business and do all this kind of stuff, but not when it comes to protecting their access to affordable, you know, commercial space and all that. I guess it stops there apparently. So I know, I think that's like a bigger fish to fry, and that's like a whole other can of worms that I could open. A lot of like surface level activism that doesn't always necessarily solve the actual problems. All that to say, clearly I'm passionate about lobster ravioli, or I wouldn't have gone on this full ass rant about real estate and gentrification and the economy. On to the next subject, y'all. Last Wednesday, I went to bed the previous night around 12 or 1, which is kind of typical for me. It's hard for me to go to bed earlier unless I like really have to get up early. But basically I had this long to-do list of things that I wanted to do on Wednesday before I had to go to work. I was like, okay, I'm going to set my alarm for 7 a.m. And then the last like few months, and when I set an alarm, I set one and then I set another alarm for 5 minutes later. So if I happen to sleep, like turn it off and sleep through it and sleep past it, the one 5 minutes later will wake me up, and then I won't sleep, you know, like past my alarm basically. So on Wednesday, Tuesday evening in the wee small hours, I set my alarm for Wednesday morning for 7 a.m. And then I put a second alarm at 7:05. Okay. I woke up at 10 a.m. I literally managed to, in my, you know, deep slumber, half asleep, hear the alarm at 7 o'clock, hear the alarm at 7:05, and just completely ignore them. My body literally did not let me wake up, didn't allow it. And I literally then, following those two alarms, went back to sleep and literally didn't wake up till like 9:55. And I was like, you know, woke up feeling all like rested and, you know, feeling like, okay, wow, I feel good. And I looked at my phone and I was like, oh, now I can't do anything on my to-do list. Now I literally have to make breakfast, pack my lunch, and shower and leave. Fantastic. Don't you love that? Did you love that? So then my to-do list proceeded to be spread out unevenly throughout the next week. Still not done. Still not done. Mind you, I think if I had woken up at, oh my God, it's raining. Oh, period. It's raining, you guys. Sorry. That was like a total sidetrack, but I heard like noise and I thought it was just gardeners next door. It's literally raining. I'm so smitten. I love the rain. I'm so sorry. I'm getting distracted, but I literally love the rain. Period. Okay. So anyway, yeah, I slept till 10. didn't get anything done. Still working on that to-do list, but you know, we persevere, we continue on. I'm not giving up. That to-do list will be finished up. I feel so bad. One of the things on my to-do list was to cut my dad's hair. And he was like, I woke up at 10 and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, but I'm literally not going to be able to cut your hair. Like, it's not happening. And he was like, it's okay. So sweet and understanding. I did cut his hair though. That was one of the things on the to-do list that I did complete. I can't believe it's raining. And I just got a car wash yesterday. Isn't that funny how that happens? Yesterday on my way to work, I was like, oh my God, my car is decrepit. There's leaves. There's a layer of dust on every inch of my vehicle. I'm going to go get a car wash. I had extra time. I got to work early after my last appointment and I got a car wash and now it's raining. Lovely. Fantastic. Okay, on to the next topic. Mariah Carey has released a deluxe 20th anniversary Emancipation of Mimi album, and I listened to it this week. I'm actually not done listening to it. I think I have like a few songs. It's huge. There's like, I don't know, like 20 songs or something. Let me look at the full track list. But literally, yeah, full album. There's 2 discs. First disc is 19 tracks. Second disc is 21 tracks. I still think I have like 7 or 8 more songs to listen to, but all the remixes, I did listen to like the first disc, which is just like the first album in its entirety. And then disc 2 is like remixes and some like live versions of the songs. Okay, the reason I'm so excited and like giggly about this album and the anniversary is because I remember as a kid buying this album probably at like Target or Walmart or something, buying the CD. And I think this was like, other than listening to like Motown and stuff at home, because like my dad did play like Motown and stuff. So I did like grow up listening to that. But other than that, this was like my awakening for my love of R&B. Literally this album single-handedly. This, and also, I don't know if I've told this story in the pod, but the day that If I Ain't Got You by Alicia Keys came out, I have a vivid memory of that day. So like those 2 moments in my life, listening to this album for the first time, memorizing every word, singing, belting, you know, killing my voice, singing Mine Again. And when I was a little girl, I could do all those whistles. I don't really got those whistles anymore, but like I could whistle and everything, singing this song when I was little in the backseat of my parents' Honda. Girl, that was like my childhood. This album was so formative for me as a vocalist, skill-wise, and I feel like I really just like mimicked a lot of her intonation and her energy and her dynamics. I mean, if Mariah Carey is nothing else as a singer, she is dynamic as fuck. She has layers on layers on layers. She is every color of the vocal spectrum in one song. And there are not that many singers that in their own artistry like have vocal repertoire that span all across every type of vocal ability. You know, there's some like lower, richer kind of like breathier notes. There's like piercing, belting, like resonant notes. There's like obviously whistles. There's breathiness. It's just like, it's just to die for as a vocalist. This album specifically is amazing. Now, obviously, I've listened to like other Mariah Carey's other discography, which is also fantastic. But I think this just was very formative to me because I think came out in 2020. So I was like 7 when this came out. And just like as a 7-year-old listening to this, like I just think that's like so funny. I just like think back on me at 7, this album, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so glad that I came across it. I'm so glad that I was able to absorb it, you know, as a kid. And I feel like it's one of those albums that really formed my ear and my vocal ability and like just a lot of inspiration for me. So anyway, I literally could rant forever. And I do think my favorite record off of the original album is probably Mine Again. It's just so freaking good. If I just go to the original record, Pop 2005, oh my gosh. Yeah. Probably Mine Again or We Belong Together. I mean, those are both hits, but I do like Circles. I feel like Circles is kind of underrated. And then, oh, damn, Get Your Number. That song is so fun. Can I get your number, baby? So I can show you what I all like. Crazy. I just love this album as a whole. Like, can't get enough. I'll jam it any day. And it's kind of one of those albums too that like puts me in like the best mood. Like, I could have had a shit day yesterday, but I threw it on, which I didn't have a shit day, but like I could be having a shit day and I would like I could throw that album on and it would cure it, like single-handedly. There aren't that many albums that really could do that for me, to be honest. Maybe a handful, but I love it. It's just so fun and joyful and like, ooh, like it's so like flirty and fun. I just love it. So anyway, can't get enough. I did really like, there was one remix so far that I've heard that I really liked. I still have a few others to listen to, but the one that I added was the We Belong Together remix that's feat Jadakiss and Styles P. I literally can't get enough. It's so good. So if y'all are R&B fans, pop fans, and you like Mariah Carey or you're a singer and you just want to like find some new music, if you have not already heard this album, I mean, it's like an iconic album. So you should be put onto it if you have not already experienced it. It's so, so good. Okay, last segment of the pod. This is like pretty much a weekly thing now, so I'm just going to make it a formal segment. I have 2 movie reviews. So first film I watched was called The Double. It's a 2013 film with Jesse Eisenberg. It's like a thriller comedy. I thought it was very, very interesting. I didn't really know what to expect. I find a lot of like TikToks like of people posting like their favorite thrillers, like unique thrillers that are like not super popular. I just try to find niche thrillers basically because I've seen everything that's like on every streaming platform. Like I'm just trying to like find something different. I've like seen all the popular ones essentially. So I want to find something different. And I'd seen a few different threads post about this same movie. So I was like, okay, let me go take a look at it. First impression, like right off the bat, the cinematography is like really, really, really unique and really, really, really tasteful and just satisfying as a watcher. Like, I just have like such an appreciation for like really elegantly framed cinematography that's not trying too hard, because sometimes cinematography is kind of like, oh, you're just trying to be unique. Like you're really just trying to give a very unique framing on this scene. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's kind of like, oh, it's a little corny sometimes when it's too weird. But I feel like this was very, very, very well done. I will say that was probably my favorite aspect of the film. Story-wise, it was very interesting. I'm not really going to like describe or give any spoilers, but basically the overview from Google: an awkward office drone becomes increasingly unhinged after a charismatic and confident lookalike takes a job at his workplace and seduces the woman that he desires. It's very interesting. Also, I will say one thing that's kind of another interesting takeaway from the film is like the time period was very ambiguous. There were some aspects that, set design wise, it totally gave like, I don't know, 1930s, 1940s, like I would say like 1950s or before, maybe even 1960s or before, but like way back. But then like something that bugged me like very early on, like I recognized that like set wise, the time period was kind of old. But Jesse Eisenberg like had his hair, like his normal, like long hair. Like it was just, I was like, the hair doesn't fit. There's something off about this. His outfit and his hair, his outfit, I guess like a little bit more fitting, like his suit, but it just really rubbed me the wrong way that his hair was not like period accurate. Like I was like, no one at that time wore their hair like that. That just like wasn't a thing. Like people slicked back or they like used grease or like whatever, like men especially. I was like, that's crazy. Like that would be like looked down upon in those days to have that kind of hairstyle. So I don't know if that was like on purpose to add to like his character archetype or if I don't know. I feel like there were also a lot of things like tech wise, like it's clear that it wasn't that time period because there's some stuff that's kind of like modern, like dystopian, kind of like futuristic, like tech also associated with like the workplace. But I don't know. It was basically the time period was like very ambiguous. So that was an interesting, like part of it, the film as well. But I would recommend it. It was very interesting. It was an interesting watch. I would honestly say for like cinematography alone, it's really, really great. I would recommend it. Jesse Eisenberg never disappoints, in my opinion. He's a very nuanced actor. He's very good at playing awkward. So I don't know if you see that as like, he is kind of typecasted in this role as well, whether you see that as like a negative or positive. I have nothing against actors being typecasted into a specific, niche. If they body that, they body that. And I'm not going to hate on it. And I enjoy it. His acting's great in it. So yeah, I'd recommend. I also finally saw Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, the original Lilo and Stitch came out when I was 5 years old. I don't know if I saw it when I was 5, but I have very vivid memories of seeing Lilo and Stitch. We even had the soundtrack on CD in the car. I probably bugged the shit out of my parents listening to that on repeat, because I was also just that type of kid. I think most kids are like that. Like they find music or something that they like and they just like beat it into the ground until they hate it, or until their parents hate it. And yeah, I have very, very vivid, fond memories of watching Lilo and Stitch when I was little. It was like one of my favorite movies. I thought it was so cute, and I loved the music from it. I loved like all the Elvis in the soundtrack too. It was like so cute. So when I found out that they were making a live action, I was so freaking excited, because I already know, I was like, Disney's good when they do live action. For the most part, they do pretty well. Beauty and the Beast was kind of a little, but like Little Mermaid was fantastic. So I was like, okay, I have high expectations. Like they're going to make Stitch so cute. I already know he's going to be adorable. So as soon as I saw like the first trailer that they released, or like the teaser that they released, I was like, oh my God, I can't wait another day for this to come out. It literally needs to be out today. It needs to be out yesterday so that I can see it. And I saw it this weekend with my parents. It was so cute, you guys. I cried at one point. It was so adorable. Fair warning, I will say the first minute or so of the film is literally word for word the same exact dialogue from the first film. As the movie goes on, there are more like unique scenes and like there's more like new dialogue, but there is a lot of dialogue that's from the original to a T, which is like fine, because like a lot of the comedic timing and like those one-liners are like the fact that Zach Galifianakis and Billy Magnuson played Jumba and Pleakley. Like that alone, that casting was just like A+, like 100%, 10 out of 10. They did so well. I feel like those actors like low-key look like those characters. So they did a really, really good job. The cast was amazing overall. And oh my gosh, Maya playing Lilo was just so cute. She did an amazing job. It was amazing. I highly recommend everyone goes to see it. It was adorable. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to wrap up today's episode. I hope that you enjoyed. Thank you so much for all your support so far. If you're enjoying the pod so far, please subscribe here on YouTube, leave a comment, and go follow and rate on your preferred podcast platform. Thank you so much again for listening. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.